Okay, turn it back off. Sorry, we'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back. Out. Woo! Yeah, you got to get in the leadership. You know what I mean? All right, so All right, so one thing that I wanted to do, and this is, and then we're gonna hopefully get the mass influence formula sales video done before lunch, and then we've got a bunch of videos to make after lunch and a handful of things to do this afternoon, is when Mars came into the company, he kept mentioning to me, we need core values. We need core values. We need core values. We need core values. We need core values, right? Like, and basically every time we had a problem, right, and we were trying to think of how to solve it, he'd be like, you know, we need core values. And the reason is because if we had core values, like, we'd figure out how to solve this through our core values, right? And so I think that when he joined, I didn't know what he's talking about, you know, so I ignored it for a long time. So about 3-4 weeks ago when I started like really working on restoring Empower Network back to what we want it to be, I also started working on core values. And so I originally made like 20, and then with the teamwork here with Mars, we have compressed them into 10. Now what I want to do actually is, later today, Mars, if we could get this printed for everybody.
It's already printed. Michelle's handing it out right now.
Okay, so we're going to...
That's how we roll.
When I hand this out to everybody, and also I want this... This is what a team is for. They are organized. They make up for like the missing part of my brain, which is the left side. You know, that whole left side is just like empty space there, and it's overgrown right brain. So I want to pass these out, and I want to make this about collaboration too, but not so much here. I want you guys to think through it, and if you have suggestions or things that you think are really important, give the feedback to the Leadership Council. Okay, just one of the council members reach out. They'll connect with us, and then we're going to collaborate and solidify these. And these things here are pretty solid, and we're going to follow these. And here's the thing I want to emphasize. If we had this back in the first version of Empower Network, we never would have had ENB2. Yeah. Right? Because if one of our core values is... Part of the value is making sure that we test things and that they work before we release them, right? ENB2 would have never happened, right? So we would be $500 million a year company today. So core values are really important, and these are the things that we stand for and we don't budge on. And the filters by which we make decisions together as a group, as a company, as a field, right? And so anytime some issue comes up, we can go back to the core values and we can say, what do the core values say about this, and then make a decision from there. That cool? So let me read them off here real quick. Core values, and then I'll briefly talk about each one, and then we'll get into sales planning. And just be thinking through, make some notes on this, give the feedback back to the council if you've got feedback this weekend. And then when we solidify it for sure, okay, we'll make sure this is out to the field, and this is the values the company will abide by at all times.
And also, Dave, like before you jump into the sales video, I just want to step up when you're done. And I just want to say one thing about one of the core values, that's really important. Let me come up on camera so I can talk to everybody, because it's not just the people in the room. So one of the things that Dave and I think this is probably the thing that we're most super duper aligned on, and actually why I like working for this company, is the idea of everybody living by the same standard. All right, and I might get weepy on this, and just, you know, love me anyway. So, you know, the way that things have been set up here, this isn't for people on the live stream. I just wanted to just let everybody know the sort of like non-diamonds. I had a couple conversations last night, and so we all had a powwow, the leadership council, well, the leaders and the diamonds that are here, about doing something for everybody tonight. And really just, I wanted to just openly apologize to everybody here who's not a diamond, although you should be working your way towards it. And just let you know, we love you guys all the same, because to me, okay, some people are more valuable than others maybe because they do important things, but nobody is treated by a different standard by me or anybody on this team, or I think within the field too. It doesn't matter what rank you're at. It doesn't matter what race or gender or whatever you are, how old you are. To me, that doesn't actually matter. It doesn't even compute. It doesn't compute in Dave's brain either. Like, I have a hard time with hierarchical structures myself, because to me, everybody's actually equal. I honestly just believe that. It's not something that was taught to me. I just can't see it any other way. So I just wanted to apologize to the people that I spoke with last night. And I know some other people are feeling, just let you guys know we're going to have a meal for everybody tonight, and it'll just be an everybody kind of being together. And go ahead, Dee.
Yeah, I just wanted to share like a perspective from Justin and I, because the truth is when we joined, it wasn't like it was like one or two people making money. Everybody made money, and they made a lot of it. So, you know, when we hit $30,000 a month, it was like, who are Justin and T? For what? So I looked at it like we need to just keep working harder. Everybody has different personalities, but I do want to point that out, that some people look at that and they're like, I'm going to work for it, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. So not everybody.
Yeah. And so that actually goes to the point I'm trying to make, and then I want to turn this back over to Dave. Everyone's at a different value point, you know? The janitor might make less at a company than, let's say, the COO, but he's no less important than me, because somebody's got to do that stuff, because God knows I'll forget, and the trash will overflow, and then, you know, dogs and cats living together. Horrible, horrible chaos. So that's a core thing that's built into these all the way throughout, and it is really important that ultimately you guys have a conversation about it, but I wanted to, that we all have a conversation about getting them lined out, you know, later, like Dave said, but to just sort of initiate it here. But then also for me as COO of the company to openly apologize to anyone who just really by virtue of the way the house is kind of set up is the biggest problem. We won't make that mistake again. We love all of you, you know, equally, and that's just straight up how I am as a person. And so we'll rectify it later, and I just humbly apologize. Humility is another value, you know. So I love you all, and I just wanted to jump in and say that before you got into it. Thank you, everybody.
So, real quick, he's awesome, by the way, and I don't think a lot of people know or appreciate how much stuff he does, but it's actually one human being organizing that much stuff and making sure it gets done, to me, is like mind-blowing. So seriously, give Mars a hand. I would appreciate it. And so I'm going to quickly read these off, briefly describe each one, and then if, you know, we have this to download for people on the live stream? Yes. Okay, we do. Okay, great. So if you guys download it too and have thoughts or feedback, you can send it in probably somewhere. I don't know how to do that, but we can tell you later when somebody knows how. And we want to make these concrete, right? So 1, service to others. 2, open, honest, constructive communication. 3, conscientious generosity. 4, leadership. 5, commitment. 6, informed creative change. 7, efficiency through simplicity. 8, humility. 9, community, fun, and family feeling. 10, celebration of achievement, never quitting. That's important. That would have solved many problems. So service to others. Let's talk about that for a second. These are, guys, filters by which we run our decisions through as a community, right? And if we stick to them, it'll avoid massive pitfalls, right? And it'll make sure that we're always getting better and never going backwards, because we won't do dumb stuff, right? Does that make sense, right? Like, for example, the thing we were talking about earlier, the private discussion, right? It breaks our core values, right? Does it make sense? And so if we run our decisions through these filters, we're going to do that's fine, right? But these are the values by which we abide by. So service to others. I exist to serve you guys. The company exists to serve the field and the customers. The field exists to serve your teams, your customers, right? We put others first, right? Who in here likes that idea, like things at school, right? We exist to serve. So I'm not going to read this word for word. You guys can read through it. Open, honest, constructive communication. Okay, we don't have anything to hide, right? You know, part of the reason I went into that stuff on Thursday, and I'm not going to repeat. I might not repeat that ever, right? I don't think we'll share that video anywhere. But that's for people who are here, is because I feel like I haven't been open and honest about it, right? And so because of that, I'm all blocked up on the inside. If we hide things, people are not going to trust us. But also, it creates a situation where there's like this big pink elephant there, you know what I mean? And everybody's staring at it, but nobody's acknowledging that it's there. You know what I mean? And so we want to be open, honest, transparent, right, all the time. In the field, in our marketing, with what's going on in the company, if we have a problem. How many of you all know the reason Empower Network's still around is because we were honest with people when we had problems? Right? You guys, otherwise we would not be around. Right? Tracy Walker was like, well, we can't get commissions, but let's keep blogging. And everybody's like, Okay. You know what I mean? Somehow she pulled that off. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so conscientious, I can't say that word. Conscientious generosity. We're a giving culture, right? We give to get profits, right? We give first. And I don't know, and for me, this is a value in my life, and I don't talk about it too much, but I think actually this is a prosperity thing too, right? I think that if you give, you continue to prosper. And this isn't just like financial giving, like, you know, what they do over in Portugal where they buy cars and drive them down to Africa. How many of y'all know when you give value to your list, they buy stuff, right? If you continue to give value, they continue to buy stuff. If you stop giving value, they stop buying stuff, right? So people actually respond to giving. Right? Giving. If we become a giving culture all the time, we're always going to prosper. So for me, I actually give at least 10% of my income away to feed kids. And I've done that for some time. Right? I end up feeding usually around somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 kids a week. Right? Get a meal. Now. It's all of us, right? It's all of us. And ever since I've been doing it, see, what that does is if you have purpose in everything that you do, right, understand that giving is like with receiving. It's like they're equal, right? Because if you give more than you're receiving, eventually you end up receiving more, right? If you receive more than you're giving, eventually you end up getting less, right? So it works like that. And so I just encourage you guys to do that. But if we become a giving culture all the time, that's part of service, right? We will prosper. Make sense, everybody in here? Okay. Leadership. We believe in leading by example. We ask others to do, follow the expectations we set with others, and we follow through on commitments. All right? And this is the thing. This is like the principle of Empower Network, right? I'm out there in the field leading with everybody, and because of that, I can be respected. If we lead by example, people respect us. And if we lead by dictating, eventually it breaks down, right? People might listen for a little while, and then they get sick of it, right? Eventually. So we want to lead by example. So we want you guys to market, to improve your marketing. We'll improve our marketing, right? I want you guys to recruit more. I'll recruit more, right? And if we think like that all the time, that we're the leaders of our teams by our examples, not from what we say, but by what we do, we will always prosper. Somebody said a long time ago when I was, this is a diamond in Amway, right? And he was a double diamond, which is like, you got to walk on water to do that, you know, in that company, because it's like tiny commissions from like unbelievable amounts of people, you know, earning no money all through the path until you get to the very top. But you know, this guy said when he went diamond, he asked Bill Britt, "How do I go double diamond?" And Bill said, "Just continue to do what you just did to go diamond and do it again." Right? How do you get to diamond? Well, you do what you did to go gold again. Right? And go platinum. You do that again, you'll go diamond. Right? If we keep leading by example, we're going to keep getting results. Commitment. We do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. We hit deadlines. We deliver what we say we'll deliver. Always striving to improve our ability to do that all the time. We never overpromise. We follow the 8 core commitments. Okay? So this is, again, going back into just what we do as a culture, right? Like the 8 core commitments, and sometimes people write that off. That's why people stuck around in Empower Network, guys. I mean, one of the reasons we had problems is because we weren't following those commitments, because they were hard to find, or they weren't obvious, or people didn't understand what they are, because they moved out of focus. We follow through on our commitments as a community and a culture. 6, informed creative change. This here would have prevented the biggest disaster and several other disasters in our history, right? Informed creative change is the key, right? We believe in testing every element related to sales and product development. When one test ends, another test begins everywhere, all the time. This process is the only way to get whatever works the best. Once we have something working, we're always testing, develop, and improve it all the time on every process, right? There's an old saying that says, whatever you track, you can improve, and if you can't track it, you can't improve it. Anybody here who's lifted weights, you know that if you keep track of your weightlifting, it's the only way it'll actually improve over time, right? And so Empower Network has had a lot of problems due to, in the past, right, due to just trying something and releasing it on a mass scale and we don't know if it works or not, right? Well, if we had just had this core value, we never would have done any of that stuff, okay? So right now what we have is working, so we're going to make it work better, right? Like right now, for example, and this is an example of what we're doing, okay? Our front-end sales video is working, right? So what do we have going on? Well, right now, leaders are going up one by one with scripts written, creating small variants of the front-end sales video. Why? So we can create a variation that converts better. I made videos for the upsell sequence, and then we had a baseline, and then what did I do? I made new ones, and then we tested them against the old ones. The new ones worked better, so we keep those ones around. If we're always doing that all the time, Empower Network can get to $1 billion a year literally just like that. Because if we make the blog convert more traffic to leads, and the leads convert more traffic to leads to sales, and the sales convert more sales to upsells, and we keep people around longer by testing and improving and testing and improving and testing and improving and testing and improving, will turn us into a wealth machine, right? As long as we're aware and conscious of that. So efficiency through simplicity. More with less, right? We need to always be asking the question, what can be removed without interfering with something, right? Well, another thing, what's something else that has caused problems for us as a community? It's over time and the accumulation of sales, right? We've accumulated complexity everywhere, right? Does complexity help or hurt duplication? It hurts it. Because we launch a new thing, people don't know what to do, they don't know what our business model is anymore, right? And it hurts our model, it doesn't help it. And so what can we take away without interfering with anything? And if we can constantly reduce and specialize, right? We're gonna get better and better and better and better, all right? Humility. This is an important one. And everybody here who's succeeded, you know what I'm about to say is true, but if you haven't succeeded on a massive scale, maybe you don't know yet, right? No success is permanent, okay? Something that's working might stop working. What you did in the past might not continue to work quite in the same way. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, right? What happens to us all, right, whenever we start to succeed is, and I'm, by the way, pointing to myself here, is, you know, we get a little bit of an ego. And a lot of times we'll stop learning, stop reading, stop following the commitments, become more dictating rather than leading by example, right? And what happens when we start to do that? Our income goes down, our success goes down, our recruiting goes down, our teams decline, right? If we constantly learn and understand we don't know it all, we'll always be searching for better, faster ways of doing everything that we can test and we can improve. Make sense? Humility. Community fun and a family feeling. We want to have fun, and we believe in building a business while having a life. And we need to run everything we do through that. Right? It's not just about making money. It's not just about getting, right? We have, you know, who in here has kids? Right? We have family, spouses, kids, right? Friends. And when we're together, we want this to be like a family, right? So we need to treat it like that, you know? And I really have felt for a long time like I've got a couple of families. I've got like my family, and then I've got my business family here at Empower Network too. And I think about you guys like that. I really do. Like I really get excited to come to our events just to hang out, you know, just to hang out. You get to see Tracy again, get to see Dee again, you know, the connects, you know. By the way, like I thought it was funny when my brother was like, connect to your power, connect to your power. Yeah.
That actually took me out of it.
I don't think necessarily he was doing that on purpose or anything. Not that every time you say your name, you'll connect to your power now. I love seeing you guys. I love hanging out. Who in here thinks this event's awesome just because all the leaders get to hang out? You know what I mean? Yeah, we get to get closer. You know what I mean? It's a more intimate environment. So we're family. We travel, party, stay healthy, spend time together like a family. By the way, now this event, guys, I hope none of you feel like I'm blowing you off or anything. No. Because like I legitimately, after talking this much, like if I don't go rest my brain, I'm like gonna die. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you letting me skip out. It's not because I don't want to hang out. It's because I can't, because I got to get up and talk for 5 hours again. So I appreciate you guys for that. Celebration of achievement, never quitting, okay? We want to celebrate every victory and every win, not just the big ones, okay? And we've done a poor job at celebration, I think, about a lot of things. You know, it's like these guys make $30,000 a month, and we're like, whatever, you know? Or it's like, you know, it's like the diamonds get celebrated, and then somebody hits gold, and we're like, whatever, you know? That's not good, right? But it's also every little win we want to celebrate, right? Somebody making a decision to just get in is a win, even if they don't get all in, right? Somebody making a decision to hit boss is a win, not just hitting boss maker, not just hitting silver, not just hitting gold, right? Every success the marketing team has, right? Every split test where we get something that wins. Yeah?
Why don't just go over $100,000? Wait,
hold on.
Why don't just over $100,000 commissions today, just a couple of hours ago?
Hey, give him a hand. Let's congratulations, man. Congratulations. Right? So we want to celebrate. Here, guys, that's awesome, right? That's awesome.
That is cool.
So yeah, I mean, when we celebrate success, it creates more success, right? And this goes back into, we've been talking this weekend about, you know, how sometimes people feel like losers if they're not all in. We want to celebrate when people go all in, but also celebrate the person that just bought the inner circle, right, and is figuring things out in their life still, but they just made a decision that's a celebration. Every split test victory, right? Somebody gets a promotion in the corporate office. Somebody goes from gold to platinum, platinum to diamond, right, boss to boss maker. We want to celebrate everything. And here's the other thing. We're not going to celebrate quitters anymore, right? No, we're just not. We're just not. Doesn't mean we need to badmouth them, but there will be no celebration of quitting, right? No edification of it. No making reasons for it that are positive. If they quit, they're quitters, right? That's the attitude that we'll have. We don't need to be negative about it, but we're not going to celebrate it either. You guys understand that? That cool? Okay, so this is what we got so far. This would have solved every financial disaster in Empower Network's history, and probably a lot of your personal ones too. So who in here thinks this is cool? Yeah. You guys love it? All right, so feedback, thoughts, if we need something else in there. We're not going to take so much right now because we got to make videos. Just jot them down, think through it, because this is, guys, this is going to be a permanent thing. Okay, if we're at an event and we're like, should we do a party or not? Well, we say, all right, okay. Community, fun, and family feeling. Yes, we will do a party. Okay, make sense? Right? We have a new product. We have a new video process or something like that to sell things. Right? We delete every video and put the new one up? No. Why? Because, right? We have informed creative change. Right? So we're going to test it. We're going to try it out, and if it works, then we'll use it. That make sense?
I can't stand it. Something's busting out my chest. I got to share.
What?
You know, when I got in this, you looked me in the eye, and I was terrified of the online space. Because everything I've done was face-to-face. Everything I've ever learned was how to mirror somebody and how to sell somebody, get them to lick the paint on the car. The payments don't matter. Everything was me talking to you from a stage or from right here. I was terrified. You said, Rob, just do what you know how to do while you learn what I do. What I clinged on to, I suffered for the first 3 months fighting, trying to learn something that I was struggling with and not allowing my mind to open up. When I used these core commitments, it absolutely exploded my business because, first of all, I believed in them. I loved them. And when somebody that was making the kind of money that you were making, doing the kind of things you were doing, told me to do something, and they resonated with me, I believed in them. So when I employed the core commitments and I was diligent with every single person I signed up, I went through your welcome call, welcome, letter, and I went through those core commitments, and we talked about every one of them. None of those people quit. It's when they went off the site and I lost track of it and I quit doing it that my business went down the other way. And I came back and I said, Kim, pull those off, find those core commitments. We're going to use those again when our business started going back up the other direction. So I just have a personal testimony that this is not only a gift, it's a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is, and this is a thing that if we just realize something okay, you think about a problem that we've had in Empower Network as a culture, as a community, right? One of the things here, right, commitment. We follow the 8 core commitments, right? Why do people stick around stuff? Because they're growing, right? Personal growth, spiritual growth, financial growth, right? They're creating new relationships. They have a business family. They don't stay in for the commissions. That is not what makes people stick around, right? I promise it's not. They get in for the commissions. They buy a product maybe for the commissions initially. Maybe that's why they do it, right? But they stay in for the family, for the spiritual growth, the personal growth. And when you get around people that are growing, you want to stay around them because it makes you stretch, right? So if we ever empowers the leadership, and we got to think ourselves as leadership that's going to be the leadership for a long time, right? Forever, right? Because hopefully we'll all live forever. But in any case, for a long time, right, if we grow, people will continue to want to grow with us, right? And if we grow personally, we're going to grow financially. If we grow spiritually, we're going to grow personally and financially, right? If we're open and honest, people want to be around transparent people, right? And that's the thing that we've always had. My brother was talking about this. He was listening to some audio or something that was talking about leadership that people really love through history, and it's like people really love people who are transparent, right? And it doesn't even matter if they disagree with them. You know, it's like that guy says what he thinks he's in his head. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that, but gosh, that's badass. I don't want to say badass, and it is. You know? People love transparent, open people. See, if we hide things from you guys as a field too, right, it doesn't empower you. And if you guys hide things from your team, it doesn't empower your team. Does it make sense? So let's give feedback on this, give thoughts, be very thoughtful, and then for now, these will be the core values, and we will look through them and make sure everybody agrees, and we can all win together on these, and we have the core commitments and the core values. You guys excited about that? Yes. Yeah. Okay, and I promise we will abide by these, okay? We will not release things without testing them, okay? We'll test them. Yeah, we will test them, but we're not just going to change everything without it being tested anymore. You guys cool with that? Very cool. Okay. Okay, so we have a lot of videos to make this afternoon. How much time do we have until lunch?
45 minutes.
We have 45 minutes. I am not sure that we have time to plan and execute any of the videos, but we're going to see if we can, okay? Maybe we'll push lunch back 15 minutes if we can get it done, and then maybe we'll do it after lunch. But let's talk through. We've got 2 sales videos left, and the rest of them are core commitments videos. Those ones I can actually do pretty quick because they don't need to be as structured. They just are following a process, right? I've done them a million times. So here's the thing, all right? We've got mass influence formula. We've also got the all-in sale. So after they go through the 8 core commitments, we've got that bonus video that pops up. That's also a sales process and would probably be more effective if we filmed as a group, right? So let's talk about how to sell the mass influence formula as a standalone product at full price, okay? The cost is $3,500. And I'd say the goal should be to get at least half of the people that get the Team Builder formula to buy it. We've had close to that before, but not quite that. So if we can get half of the people to buy up the team building formula and stick with our other numbers, right, all your incomes will double from that. It'll increase a lot, right? Now also, not everybody's going to buy it at full price. Some people are going to buy it in the bundle. The reason we want to expose them at full price is because then they know when they see that bundle that the discount is real too, right? Yeah, then they know that they're going to have to buy it from that other video at full price if they don't get the discount. So it's actually important to expose it at full price even if they're taking advantage of a discount. Make sense? All right, so, there's 2 things that are really important. We can actually plan this relatively quickly. The important things is how are we going to get attention and why do they need to pay attention, right? And then also, what the irresistible offer is. Those are the key points that we've tend to make better as a group than I do on my own, right? Because I wouldn't have thought of these pattern interrupt things that also are congruent with the message in the same way we have. This is actually great for me just to participate in this process, you know what I mean? And do this with you guys. I've actually learned a lot too. So what can we do to get attention? Okay. Right in the beginning of the video that's congruent with the mass influence formula message.
We could do a hypnosis show. Make people cluck like a chicken or just something funny like that.
Okay.
Or, just because it's influence,
Okay.
Do a Pink Floyd, we don't need no education. I'm just kidding. But something like that, you know what I mean? Like in line with what Chad say, we're all like kind of zombie walking around and stuff like that. You like go over here, jump in the pool, Kevin, and he does it.
So how about I get you all to go walk up like this and then throw Kevin in the pool? I hope you don't get offended by all this throwing you in the pool stuff. Yeah, we're just joking. Yeah. Cool.
You could get us all to drink Kool-Aid.
Do we have any Kool-Aid? That might not be the most positive patter interrupt, but it would be funny. What else?
Were we going to incorporate the fire walk into anything?
The fire walk could be.
No, I mean the big footage, you know, where we, we hypnotized everybody and we made them go out and walk on the fire. Mass influence.
Here's my question. Okay, so we could incorporate that. How can that relate to the? How does that, or could it relate to the mass influence formula?
Every single person here did it.
Well, not everyone.
No?
Not everyone.
Oh. Let's burn them now.
We'll go get some coals.
The partial influence formula? Not quite mass.
The everybody but one person influence formula. All right. So what else could we do? How could that? Well, everybody did it, but how could that relate to mass influence? Because we want to make sure they connect.
I'm thinking, what is mass influence at all? I mean, ultimately, that's really where we should begin. What is mass influence? And so the objective that I see coming out of the mass influence formula is that you have this magical power over all of these people. Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody believes and follows what you have. So something that would represent that in a visual that would be eye-catching or a hook might be take your, ordinary person walking into a room. You got 30 or 50 people in a room. Everybody all of a sudden looks because the person's there.
It's Cheers.
Well, I don't know about Cheers, but it's something more than that. Everybody's paying real attention to you.
Right.
So some kind of grand entrance, the person has presence, that's mass influence.
Yeah. That's what it is. So how do we get their attention with something that's related to that? We're not quite there yet. Huh?
Dave's King's speech on the balcony.
I can't do a King's speech because I'll lose my voice. Okay. Yeah.
Someone on the live stream said that clip from MIF where you sold the pin $4,000 and someone ran up and you said it's $1,000. They said, I don't care.
I mean, we could put it in the sales. It says in the sales video right now.
It's just that one piece that they said. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very long pattern interrupt though. So sell it, but it is cool and it works to illustrate the concept.
It would just be that one point where they're running up to the stage to go get it, and then you tell them it's $1,000, and then they say, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just that part.
Well, actually, it was like 2/3 of the audience were like leaning forward. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, a lot of people wanted to buy that pen, but there was only one, and that guy was waiting there at the side of the stage. I probably could have sold that for $20,000, truthfully.
The King's March, like I guess the King's
okay. Okay. Anything else we got to think of? Attention capturing. Tracy?
You did the King's speech in your car that day in Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. Why not potentially leverage that? I mean, that's kind of crazy. You're in your car with these headphones on. Like, nobody drives with headphones on first.
They don't?
Huh? No. It's like illegal to drive with headphones on. Here, at least. Because you can't hear. In the United But you were in Costa Rica. Weren't you? Yes. You were in Costa Rica.
You were in Costa Rica.
I mean, so maybe a portion of that, maybe not the whole thing, but if we decided to use the King's speech, just use one you've already done.
Well,
it looks crazy.
Valerie's King's speech would be better than that. That was awesome. Actually, there's a few of them that were just extra awesome, like hers, Paul's. Like when everybody in the front was crying when she was doing hers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting all the energy. Like me and Mike were crying at Paul.
Yeah.
I don't cry. Yeah.
I actually using one of those things might not be such a bad idea, because that's like attention capturing and like hyper inspirational too at the same time. Use Paul's. We could have somebody do one again, but I'm not sure that would. That's actually not a bad idea. Okay, any other ideas? We'll take a couple more and then we'll move on. I like the King's Speech idea.
I like the idea of everyone being down along the waterway, just standing maybe in their power pose with you in front because you've influenced each and every one of us. And the water is kind of rippling, and that's the effect we have on all people in the background.
Okay, so doing a sales video out by the ocean. Right, okay, so that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's different, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's a different background.
Is that the ocean? What is that?
That's the bay.
That's the bay, okay. I've like barely gone outside.
Dave, real quick, just since we brought up the ocean, I mean, has the idea of throwing Kevin in the in the water been?
Wait, let's throw Kevin in the ocean.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing Kevin. I just wanted to say that because I was self-amused. Thank you.
And you save him.
Huh?
And you save him.
Dave, there's some good stuff coming up. Kelly Camp just put up a really good one.
Dave talking to Paul or whoever, and then they go into the King's
showing
Speech.
that you're influencing people, that we're influencing people. Because sometimes, you know, when you're up there like selling a pen, people are disconnected with you because you're so powerful and so good, and they don't think that they can do what you do. You're influential, but how does the average person become more influential than they are today?
Well, I think a good thing to utilize is just this room, because I mean, if you guys think about it, like, look how much success there is here. You know what I mean? Really, I mean, we got to utilize this somehow. Is that, I mean, this is a room. This room probably has earned like $15 million here, something like that. Maybe $20 million in commissions in the room. And that's pretty amazing, actually, if you think about who's in this room. There's not another thing on the internet that has people like this in a room together anywhere. You know, you guys are amazing. So we utilize that. So any other ideas? We're going to put this together, but I just want to see if there's any sort of brilliant thing that comes out. I think this King's Speech idea is actually a really good one because that's inspirational, right? And attention capturing at the same time, and fits in with the message. Okay. Okay, let's move on. All right. So other thing is, all right, so what stops people from buying the mass influence formula? Oh.
Red Brown says put all the ring earners on the stair with their hands on the rail showing the rings. That's just cool B-roll shot. Yeah, it's just a good B-roll shot.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we could get a B-roll shot with that. King's Speech scripted with every... Oh, well, the King's Speech can't be really scripted, Jesse. No. Yeah, that's got to come from the heart. Put somebody doing a King's Speech on the balcony and everybody's clapping. Yeah. That's actually not a bad idea either. That'd be kind of cool. Except for I couldn't be that person because I will lose my voice and I've got to talk all day. Okay, that would actually be, and I could be there with Paul, you know what I mean? And then we could like play the music and then Paul could shout down or something like that.
We're all out there.
Yes.
You could tell your Saul to Paul story.
Saul to Paul? Yeah. Where's Paul live? Idaho?
Yep.
This is Saul of Idaho.
Saul
on the I-15 from Idaho to Utah, he was struck by an angel. And he said, "Why, Paul, why persecutest thou me?" All right. So, put a woman, somebody says. That's actually good feedback, right? So I think we've got enough for the pattern interrupt part. Let's talk about why people don't buy the mass influence and then how we can overcome that, and then why they buy it too. Okay, and these are the two really important parts, and the rest of it actually is just easy to string together. So people don't buy because of money, right?
Yeah, that's part of it.
We'll say don't and do.
I think the biggest thing is that a lot of times when they're first coming through, they're like, I don't have influence enough to get somebody in yet, like that one person in. Do I necessarily need mass influence, right? It's like, because it's called mass influence, so you're thinking of all these people, but so they're like, I can't get this one, I can't get my neighbor in, what is mass influence? I'm not, they feel like it's a stepping stone thing, like I need to be able to get my, negative ant in before I can like mass influence people.
Okay, so the big picture doesn't connect.
Yeah.
Every time I think of connect, I think of the connects now. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will.
What I found
connect.
What I found.
Huh?
What I found, Dave, is a lot of people will either, they'll start off little, or they'll start off with top producer, or even, six-figure builder, and they're like, well, if I can have success there, then I'll get the.
Okay, so people make an excuse, which is if I have success,
then
we'll say if, then.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
Right? No, because the truth is, let's talk about this. Let's acknowledge this for what it is. What is somebody doing if they say this in their mind? They're presupposing what?
You're going to fail.
They're presupposing failure. That's what they're doing. Okay. So if they do this at all, will they succeed?
No.
They won't succeed till they stop. Right? We got to stop. And new people don't know that necessarily. They're not doing it because they're stupid or something, right? They're doing it because they don't know, and they're really nervous. So really, why are they doing this? They're doing this for one reason, and it's because they don't believe. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe it'll work. They don't believe in the company. They don't believe in the product. They don't believe they can get their money back. And so because they don't believe, they're making an excuse that sounds good to cover up for it. Right? But somebody in this state never succeeds. Never. Right? Now, if they actually don't have money, that's the only real excuse, because it's not an excuse. It's a reason that can be overcome once you get to that. But if, right, they're saying, I'm going to try it out, and if it works, they're saying, if it works, that's presupposing and an assumption that it won't work, just like all those other things that didn't work in their life. They're associating this with that stuff, not going to succeed until they overcome it. Here's what I found.
Yeah. Okay, so Dave, and also they don't know.
Trippy timing right there. Siri is intelligent.
Dave,
there was an interesting one that came up that might fit right in with that. One of the, I can't remember what his name was, but he said, if we went from a clip of your speech to Paul's to Valerie's to other thing, it will show masses of kings and queens.
But that could be too long, too.
It could be.
Yeah.
Just a short clip, though, of somebody saying, I am a king or whatever. It was just an idea. Anyways, I wanted to recognize somebody at the...
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool when I read it.
You can chop all four of them up and put them in two.
But would it be as impactful?
No, I think that if we had one and the person focused it around how they're like an influencer of nations or something like that, something like that, and because it relates to the product. Okay, but let's talk about why they don't buy and why they do.
Yeah,
so why don't they? Any other reasons?
They don't know what's involved. Like, they don't really understand the value, right? First of all, they don't even know what's in the module. So if we could give them a teaser or a taste of what's in there, and then how that's going to benefit them in their life.
Well, we could do testimonials for that, right?
Yeah.
We can do testimonials. We could put the pen thing in there, but I think it's actually better if we
define influence.
Define influence?
Siri actually defines it. I thought it would be pretty interesting to define influence. I don't have the internet here.
Yeah.
She'll actually say it out. The capacity to have an effect on a character development or behavior of someone or something or the effect of. And she'll say it. So you're like, what is influence? Define influence, and she'll tell you.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, ask her why people should buy the Mass Influence Forum. Maybe she'll figure this out.
Character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself.
Siri saying buy now.
Siri says.
The Terminator is coming.
How about each one of us standing in the same place, one after another, saying, I am Empower Network, and then...
Well, we're still talking about, we're going to pattern interrupts. Let's talk about the offer. But the I am Empower Network. These are all good ideas, but we want to stay focused. Okay, so we're back to why don't they buy? Why do they buy? So,
when I bought it, it was all about making higher commissions. There was no
so it was
other,
about making.
I didn't need to understand anything else. I just knew I could make more money.
Making commissions. For an affiliate, this is going to be the core reason why they're going to buy. Okay, so it's about, and how much does somebody earn? They earn $1,050 to $2,100. That's the range on that one product at full price. Okay, so why else do they buy? There's other reasons. For affiliates, right?
A lot of them buy so that they feel like they're fully a part of Empower Network.
Okay, so
that their commitment is solidified.
Feeling of inclusion.
Being all in.
Yeah, that's all in.
All in. Okay.
I think too, it's also a feeling of integrity to their business, so that
they're feeling like I'm not offering anything or selling anything that I'm not willing to buy. All right, sales integrity. Why else do they buy?
Everything has a formula, right? Top producer formula, team building formula. So they think they're missing part of the puzzle.
Oh, to complete the formula. Why else?
They don't want to pass up commissions.
Not lose commissions. Commissions and Uniline, I'll put. Why else do they buy?
I bought because I liked how to win friends and influence people. So I knew that there was a connection between influencing people and making money in my life.
Okay.
So I want to be a motivational speaker.
There's a connection.
Connect.
Just want to say the not lose commission part might be a little bit for compliance reasons.
Yeah. How that's phrased is important. They can remember people can make a sale, or they can make a purchase of the product to qualify. They don't have to.
They don't have to. They don't want to pass up first.
Yeah, they don't want to. They're going to miss one, So you're essentially losing a commission if you don't buy, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
at least one. So
they're losing one.
Some people actually want to learn what's in it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy.
Wait a second.
And he's like, wait a second, there's something in that thing? No. I couldn't find it in the old back office. No. Okay, so they want to learn the principles of influence in it, right? That's a good one right there.
Right on that, I remember, Alex, you were talking in one of the six-figure builders, and you kept saying, oh, well, in this module, I use this and this module to help me with my emails for, communicating with the people that came in. I mean, I don't want to get into that level of detail, but you see what I'm saying? There's an exact, an application, a practical application, an example of an application.
Mm-hmm.
That it really takes it to the next level because of what was learned in there.
Yeah.
There's also a bonus in all in library that they get. There's a lot of bonuses.
There's a lot of bonuses. Okay, there's bonuses. With bonuses, the all-in library is good. Well, this is the original sales video though. So, yeah. This is the one. If people don't take the discount, and when people are just going through the funnel, they'll see this if they get to that spot. Like for example, okay, so if somebody buys that package we sold last night, I think we sold 18 of them. Okay, the $1,000 package, right? So it did work, and I think we can make it work better because I think it took a little too long to get to the offer. Is the only problem with that thing last night. But I don't know. We're gonna test it. We have a baseline now. Okay, and so if people buy that, they've got everything but this, right? So they'll go right to the $3,500 video after they join. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure where this fits in, but parents are paying so much to send their kids to college for a bunch of fluff, and here, when you're all in, when you buy the Mass Influence formula, you actually can earn as you're learning. Do we want to put that message in there somewhere?
Yeah, that's good. Earn as you learn. Okay, so how about this one? How about they don't buy it because they don't have money, and they do buy it when they come up with it. So that's actually a legitimate reason people don't buy because they don't have $3,500, right? That happens to most people, right? So something, and this is I'll just say don't have. So is there a compliant way that we can aid them in this process of creating resources if they don't have it to overcome this?
Are we having the pay plan on this? Just curious.
Huh?
Are we having the pay plan for
this? Like,
Are we going to talk about it?
Talk about the paper?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Yeah, I'll throw it in there. Yeah. So because the $1,050 to $2,100 commissions, right, and how that fits into earning enough money to create mass influence too, right? Earning high ticket commissions, right, and earning high ticket commissions from your downline. Right? This is something not a lot of people have understood in our pay plan, and I'll take responsibility for this because when I talked about our new pay plan, what did I do? I talked about the Uniline. You know what I mean? So people didn't understand. It's like, 80% of my income for the next 2 years comes from core income, right? How does that work? Well, I don't know. Dave never explained it, right? I think it's in the Uniline somewhere, right? And so, Pat Patterson literally thought he only earned 30% commissions on one-time purchases until he made $10,000 a month like that, and then after that point, he earned residual income from the downline. He just didn't understand, and I think there's a lot of people that thought that. It's my fault.
Somebody said something about the financing option. If we do decide to go and
we can't do financing, but what can we do that would aid somebody in?
Well, not financing, but like breaking up the payments. I meant like.
Breaking. But we're not going to put that in a video. Not this. Okay. Well, maybe in a down sell if we could do it. But with the financing, if somebody comes up with their own resources, their own methods, we are not going to do financing for people. No way.
No, yeah. That's
Even if we could, I wouldn't want to.
What's the question? What's a way we can help them?
Yeah, is there any way we can help them? Like sometimes people literally I would buy that, but I don't have the money. Is there a way we can help them think through coming up with it? Stories maybe?
Doodling visualization.
That story you told was a great story, right? I had a guy, he didn't have the money, and he just started thinking differently, and then he came up with it, and it changed his life. This is how it happened.
So I don't know how compliant any of this is. But isn't
that always a great way to start?
Right. It's the best way.
Hey, look, guys, ideas are never bad to discuss. Right. But if we throw all the ideas out there and we don't criticize them, because they're just ideas, right? Then we can find an idea that creates the same thing, even if yours isn't compliant, that actually works, that is compliant, right? So let's talk about it.
So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can be like, imagine if you have a car, like a dream car. You have that dream car, and you're like, okay, you want a Lamborghini, right? That's your dream car. Okay, well, we actually have a Lamborghini, and like in quotes, and essentially, I'm like, we're just looking to get rid of it. Okay, or somehow secondhand, like your friend used it as like a thing because we can't say we have it, but like we're just trying to get rid of it. Okay, we just want to get rid of it for $3,500. Wow. Okay, so. How would you come up with you want the car, right? Well, awesome. Well, how would you come up with that $3,500 because a Lamborghini is like, a $200,000 thing? Well,
so getting them thinking about how to create the resources in the video.
Yeah, get them different stories.
Because of the size of the purchase, it may not be bad to actually do some framing around the thinking of how to generate money. Whether we're doing it this way or another way, I think that's actually probably a good thing. I don't know how much time you'll have in the video, but with a larger purchase, it seems like taking a few minutes to talk about it.
And the truth is, guys, very, very, very few people, very few, just get in and buy all of the products immediately, right? We're talking like they have to be pre-framed for quite a while. If they come in and do that, it's because they were pre-framed for a while before that, maybe for 7 days through some sort of sequence, and then they get in and they know they're supposed to just click buy.
Me and Rob were talking about actually having a follow-up sequence for people that haven't bought certain products, so they'll get like an email and get sent back to the sales videos.
We have that in place, and we're making that better right now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Would it be possible? Is there a way to have a link pop up on the sales page that would take them to a PDF that was 31 ways to come up with the resources to come on to to get all in, or to that way they could actually have a resource they could actually look at and come up with ideas? Because we have an email that we send out something like to our team members.
A quick question for compliance: is there anything wrong with doing that?
It's not compliant.
There's nothing wrong with it?
It's just Andreas.
Is there somebody in compliance here we can ask, if there's anything wrong with doing that?
Do we have anybody actually? Well, they like running answer. What's the question?
Okay, so he was saying, what if we come up with a pre-built list of ways they can come up with resources to aid them in thinking through how to come up with the money? Is there anything wrong with that?
We have
Oh, Mike.
A lot of us have lists.
Yeah. Because I mean, this is a great idea because if people start thinking, here's the biggest problem. Okay, is not the amount of money people have; it's the way they think, right? Because if they just think like, I'm going to come up with the money, I wonder how. Even that, their brain is totally different than I wish, right? Does that make sense? They're thinking like a totally different person.
We can build on the concept that if they were getting the three, if they bought 3 of the products they were getting, it was going to be free for them. So we're building on that. That money you can put towards this. Every time you do that, you put towards this. So it's not really money that they're coming up with. It's money they've already made. And do you know what I mean? It's like an assumptive close. You've already done this, and you're making money from it. So it's not even, it's not like a big thing to come up with more because look, you've already earned or can earn.
Okay.
So there's Inner Circle with Peter Sorensen that has like the 21 ways, and he walks through like a bunch of them. If we could have one of the leaders just basically recreate what he did in like a video, and basically have it as like a downsell to the mass influence, where it goes to like ways that you can basically manifest money and go through all kinds of stuff like that.
I built an InstaBuilder page.
Yeah, I think it's going to be helpful in our process for this video to mention this because the number one objection we're going to get to that product is going to be, I don't have the money. Right, and that's actually not an objection. That's real. Yeah. And so if we help people think through that and think in a different way, over here, Rui. Oh, you.
I built an InstaBuilder page for our team there was a video that was in the old iPass that talked about even things like about selling and giving people just bunches of ideas. So I took that video, and then I also included links to all different places that people can actually apply for funding. So I have that already, and I could
we're not going to include links on how to apply for funding. Okay. We will not do that.
So but the video with a lot, we could. It's also, I mean, obviously you would want to reshoot it or whatever to be able to have other ideas on different things that people can do, like brass tacks ideas versus just.
Okay, cool. I actually think this is a great idea because we've never made a mass influence formula video that actually addresses this head on in the video because that's the number one reason people don't buy. Will?
So I like the idea that Melissa said and someone else.
You don't remember my name, Alex.
The guy in the hat, in the green hat, who's Chad as well. So we used to have like 31 ways to come up with the funds for all-in funding. Some of them like kind of obscure, like selling farm animals and stuff like that, which might have worked for some people.
If you have a monkey that's $3,000 and you need the money to get it. It's like, but it's my monkey.
I think I want to get the monkey game.
So having a PDF that they can download is good, right? Having that tangible PDF that they can print and kind of like put it on a night table and have them think about it, how they can come up with the funds the next day or something like that. That's awesome. Having a downsell video as well, where you can go over that stuff as well, without mentioning like financial institutions where we refer them to. So it's super compliant and everything. Just getting people to think about it because people always like ideas.
Yeah, if you get
it's never lack of the money, right?
Rather than negative thinking, they're going to get it eventually, right? That's
so yeah, totally. If we can cover those two angles, I think it's going to help tremendously.
Yeah, and then so in the video, what we'll do is actually that's a good idea. Speak to 2 groups, right? Say, look, I'm going to talk to 2 groups here. Number one, the people you have the money right now, just buy it, right? And we could do a really good call to action there. And then I'm going to talk to the people that actually you don't have money, right? And we could actually talk to them and get them thinking that yes, I am going to buy it. How am I going to come up with resources? That's a good idea because it's like the number one objection. Okay, Rui?
Well, there is this thing. Before Empower Network, I never had any money, so I know for me how this process goes psychologically. So I think this goes on by levels. You know, people, even if people have a list of things they can do, there are things that they are not willing to do. Like I have people that just say, I don't want to use my credit on my credit card. That's just a big thing for them. They just don't want to do that. Or other people say, I don't want to borrow from my family. And that's a huge thing for them. It's like a blockage. They don't want to go there. And from my experience, when we say that everybody has resources, and it's true, the thing is that they are putting limits on their resources, and they say, I will never do that. And that's the thing. If you give them a list, and they say, I will never do this, I will never do that, I will never do that.
So have them make their own list? Or?
Exactly. So I just say, you just forget all your things emotionally, pretend that you are giving me advice, okay? I wanted that, so what would you tell me? So they just make a list, I will do this and this and this and this and this, without trying not to be emotionally attached with it. And then at the end, you just choose randomly 2 or 3, and you go through that just to see what's going on. And then if they don't work, you just have the other ones. So you can put people in action really quick without that limitation. Like I will never ask for my parents, for example, or my friend, or I use credit card. That was the latest one, you know. I will never use a credit card in my life, so I make this kind of promise. So we have all kinds of different blockages people do.
Okay.
Other people have already asked their parents and friends and family for the last thing that they did that didn't work. Yeah. So there are. That's
we don't want to exclude it. We just don't want to blow anybody out because some people have no problem asking family and friends.
Right.
Yeah, and